I'm going to share two variations of the palm. One that you can use going towards the assailant and the other one on the outside. And this will help you escape within seconds if you need to use it. It does involve some body mechanics, so you can start training it. And you can actually refer to one of my videos that will help you perform these effectively in structure and development. But right now, I just want to discuss how to perform the palm effectively. Because if you go forward and you hit the assailant just right on the jawline, you can control the body. If you are in a situation where the head is close enough, then you can use your entire body to perform an explosive impact. Now let's talk about form. What you want to do first is to bring the hand up and hit in this angle rather than up this way. If you can hit him just right, this is the effect that you would get. Not knowing a lot of tools, you're trying to simplify everything, you want to drive this and effectively going forward. So if you were standing here, situation has gotten out of control, I can provide you a lot of context, but by stepping forward, you're going to drive a lot more force. And by doing that, it gives you a chance to escape. It isn't like you're just pushing. No, it's a hit and now you can escape. But anytime you step forward to hit, now you're going in someone's range. If they're coming towards you and they're advancing towards you, you can perhaps side angle and escape. The point behind these palms is to control the situation as quickly as you can. You're not trying to exchange and create some competitive fight here with somebody that may be knowing how to fight. And if they are disciplined, then why are they fighting with you in the first place, right? So you have to really think about that. You're talking about the assailant that has no mental focus, no mental awareness, and they're just wanting to hurt you or injure you in some way. So you have to learn how to be aware of your own body and what kind of tools they can use to escape as quickly as you can. So one is, once again, I step forward, I strike. If there's a charge coming this way, you can angle. And if you need to learn how to follow up, we can show you that later. The next one is the palm hook. You can do this on the side of your opponent's face if it's exposed and it's not covered. In case they are covering, if you're let's say going with a barrage of palms and then they start to cover up, you can come off to the side and simply hook this down with the same hand so you can open up a target to hit, or just simply driving their entire base out of the way so you can escape. So this becomes a leverage that I will teach more on a later video, because now I'm starting to get into the details. I want you to start to just think on how to use this. So like a standard hook punch, if you were to think about this from the very beginning and you wanted to, let's say, learn how to turn the waist, you're driving this way, you're lifting your elbow up, right, and you're pivoting here, just for the action of the hip rotation. So if you raise the elbow, you lose it. If you keep the elbow down, now you have a lot more force. And then by this impact, it's connected here all the way to the back foot. So if anything, if let's say you are driving this one, let's say you threw a strike, right? Now this one comes into play. Hit, now it's here. Keep these very explosive. Once again, if let's say you are throwing that rear punch or you hit to the body, and then you got this one. Just for a line of reference, I'm using my wooden dummy so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't expect you to have this at home, but you can see that if it's hitting on this angle, you can get pretty good leverage. If you strike and explode, or if you're going to drive it through, you can. The objective here is not to stand in front of the opponent. Once you hit, is that you create that space and then decide whether you need to continue to engage or leave. And once again, just making sure that your palm is facing the target and strike upward. It's quite similar to throwing a punch, but this time you're turning it this way. And that leverage point, by that extension, will give you that full leverage. I was sent this striking device from Solo Pads, and it gives me a good way to train my palm. I mean, you do want to learn how to hit a hard surface, but human bodies are not that hard generally. If I'm hitting, I want to keep my elbow in. You see how it's inward. Even if I'm turning, it's still in. I'm not turning my elbow up. I can't hit it this way. It works this way. The angle's correct. So when I'm going in and striking, I'm going to hit from here. And once again, if dependent on the position of your opponent's head, if they're covering up, you can simply hit and obviously create some distance. If you knew the other side of that palm, you can essentially hit this way and strike up. All right, once again, hit this way, strike up. So it works favorably for me as long as I perform it to where I'm getting it to slip this way. Let's say I just hit the head, and now I'm going up that way. All right, and if you can get a hold of anything from the palm, then you're striking something going forward. Let's say you wanted to practice this right after a good warm-up. Just do a couple of them, you know, just feel good about what you're doing and go about your day. So I would work on it something like this. Relax the hand. And learn to cover up. Gauge some distance. Yeah. Last thing I want to share is the counterbalance weight that you can offer by using your rear hand instead of your lead. Your lead is closest to the assailant, closest to targets if you need to use it. But now, if you need to drive more force, then you just use the opposite side, basically countering the weight for power, right? And then that way, you can get used to initializing force if you need to, and escaping the situation. Remember, training solo requires a lot more creativity by putting more emphasis in your training with explosive intent, imagination. You'll learn to be safe out in the streets. And eventually we will get with partners and things like that. Right now, if you're looking at a little bit more in self-development, then these are the tools you can do at home and attain better results. So I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Please subscribe down below, comment, and leave feedback so I know where you're at in your training, and I'll create more videos to help you perform at home. Until then, take care and stay explosive. Just so you can see it. Let's say I hit and the arm's in the way. This controls it on the way down. I hit, I control, fire. And that's the imagination I'm putting in behind this device. I fire, control on the way in. So then it allows me to say, okay, if I do that palm, now I have control of their own arms, right? As I'm clashing it.